y'all, it's Belle. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be recent reads. The next 10 books that I read, because I do 10 books per recent reads. I'm still way behind trying to get them all caught up. First is the third and last book in the Rose Ravensthorpe Investigates series by Janine Beecham. This is Hounds and Hauntings. I'm so in love with this trilogy. It is like so up my alley with the mystery, detective, historical fiction, middle grade, and the humor. And I just wish there were more books. I didn't know dueling butlers could be such an amazing thing and something that I would need more of, I would feel like, after reading. But they are, and I do. I can't say a lot since this is the third book, but there's a new murder to solve that has another eerie element to it. At all three, this one definitely kept me guessing. I had no idea who the villain would be and was shocked when it was revealed. Loved all the twists and turns, such atmospheric, historical aspect, the humor, amazing characters that have such a great dynamic, such thrilling, exciting reads, period. Secret societies, murder, adventure, danger, suspense, fierce friendships, humor, detailed atmospheric writing, so many things that make it just such an enjoyable series. I highly recommend it. And then Alex and the Alpacas Ride Again by Catherine Lefroy. I love the first book so much, and I love this story too, but I struggled about what to do with it because there's something in here that goes against what I just didn't. It's not even something I thought I'd have to worry about in middle grade. The story was still just as dark, just as thrilling, magical. Loved it. The main character did get on my nerves a lot in this one. As the story and the writing goes, it was great, but there's a character in here that fights evil alongside our main character, and she says GD full out twice in the book. So I can't recommend it or give it a full review. Like, I put this on Goodreads, but I didn't star it, and this is the only other place I'll be talking about it. But because it is a great story, but I just can't, because she says that. I'm so grateful the publisher sent me this. I just felt like putting that in there was so unnecessary and disappointing. It is a personal issue and having to do with my fate, so this probably won't bother a lot of people, but I have to be honest and do what's right for me and say what's right for me, but it makes me sad. I just don't think it was necessary. I read that. And then I read the Swallowtail Legacy, Wreck at Asia's Reef by Michael D. Bell. And the publisher had sent me this, but I've since bought a beautiful finished copy. Thank you so much. I love this so much. I'm so happy it's going to be a series. I'm just in love with this writing, the story, the characters, just everything about this was incredible. And I'm so excited for that next one. I need it. It isn't just a mystery, but a past mystery to solve. So it's kind of like a cold case style in a way, and I love that. The setting is absolutely amazing as well. Written phenomenally, and it's just so atmospheric. How the whole mystery unfolds and all the puzzle pieces, all the key players, it's just superb. It was such a gripping read. I never wanted to put it down. The closer you get to solving everything, the more fast-paced and amazing it got to. Not only amazing writing, mystery, and setting, but also the best characters. This author does characters very well. Each unique and identifiable. This family especially was so phenomenal. They had such a unique and kind of tragic backstory, but that just makes this dad even more incredible. He's just such a great dad and stepdad. The family dynamic was so good. And when you see the siblings start to see the step siblings without the step, it's just so powerful and moving. I also love seeing Lark's relationship, Lark is our main character, with her stepdad grow. And it was so nice to see a great representation in the step-parent area. So heartwarming. The two brothers are great, and Lark's sister Pip is the best. She really loves horses. Grief is also handled very well, in my opinion, in here. Just such a great, cozy mystery, amazing setting, unique and highly interesting characters. And also the book is punctuated with transcripts, letters, maps, black and white illustrations, and so much more. I just highly recommend it. Cannot wait for that sequel. And then I read what I think is my first nonfiction middle grade. The publisher had sent me this, thank you very much. Becoming Beatrix, The Life of Beatrix Potter and the World of Peter Rabbit by Amy M. Aquin. I absolutely love this. I almost got obsessed with Beatrix Potter after reading this because I just wanted to know more and more about her because she's such an amazing woman. I learned so much about her already in this, and I had an incredible time with it. And what a life she lived. She was ahead of her time. She made her own decisions, handled her own business affairs, despite living in a Victorian society that was unaccustomed to unmarried women doing so. I loved learning more about not only her as an author, but her as a person with all of her other interests, hobbies, and passions. She was truly extraordinary. I love that even with the restrictions of the Victorian era society and a very strict mother, she made her own path in life and accomplished so much. She was able to support herself as a single woman away from her parents' money, which is huge for that time period. Her love for her brother, all the animals she had growing up that many her parents didn't know about. Her passion for the study of fungi, and even her love of Herdwick sheep. She helped so many people over the course of her life, even those sheep. She was also a champion of the land she loved and saved so much of it. Plus, everything she left to the natural trust is just amazing. I love getting to learn about her from a girl to her final days, reading some of her diary entries, letters, seeing photos, and early writing and illustrations. She was so incredibly smart. She had a head for business and a love and fascination with natural science. Just a incredible woman ahead of her time. It was written in such an engaging way as well, and the flow was just superb. I highly recommend this. I loved it. And I finally read Agatha Audley, the first book, The Secret Key by Lana Jones. Now this, again, this wasn't historical fiction, mystery, detective, middle grade, but she doesn't use her cell phone as much as other kids. Like, she even has it turned off so much, so it didn't feel like modern too much. Like, the setting was still great. Like, it was just, I love this. It's just, oh, it was epically amazing. It's such a great detective mystery MG, even without the historical fiction aspect. I just love the way this was done. And Agatha is phenomenal. I fell absolutely in love with her. She's named after the Agatha, and she definitely lives up to that name. She's smart, sneaky, resourceful, charming, calculating, imaginative, brave, kind, and so much more. Not to mention interesting and highly entertaining. She has a need for adventure and a love for investigating, and she definitely isn't afraid to take risks. I love that she has a wardrobe of disguises too. And I love the way she changes channel. You have to read it, it's just in her head. And she can flip through her memory filing cabinet, so to speak, with her photographic memory. I love the secondary mystery we slowly learn about concerning her mom's past and her death. And of course, absolutely love the main mystery with the water, the mystery attacker, etc. Everything was so intriguing and gripping, from the mysteries to the key, the underground tunnels, and so much more. I loved her dad so much. He's such a great guy. I loved his job and the setting of their little garden cottage, especially Agatha's room. I loved her room. Such vivid writing. I could picture myself there. Her best friend Liam is also the absolute best, and they had the best dynamic, and he really grounds her as much as Agatha can be grounded. They made such an amazing team. Great humor in here as well, like I love with this, just like I love. It's full of danger, adventure, mystery, suspense, friendship, intrigue, imagination, and so much more. Highly recommend. And then I read The Chameleon Thief by Matt Larkin, and the publisher had sent me this. This is the prequel to The Orchard Underground, which I loved. This was incredible. And we follow Attica from The Orchard Underground in this one, and I loved Attica so much, so it was so great to spend more time with her. This is so quirky, kooky, hilarious, imaginative, and just full of friendship and heart. The wordplay and quick wit of these characters was phenomenal. I found the plot highly entertaining, as were the characters in writing. The writing was imaginative, entertaining, and full of sharp wit and humor. Attica and her aunts and where she lived were just the best, and I loved everything about it. I loved her friends and each of their stories. The magic tricks were the absolute best, or the fail of the magic, you just have to read it. Or maybe the rude bunnies. You just have to read it. I had the absolute best time with this. While it has all that I mentioned, it also manages to be such a charming read with the most endearing characters. I highly recommend it. It was so good. I love this. And then I read the second book in the Seraphina series by Robert Beatty, Seraphina and the Twisted Staff. And this is the second book. This is even better and even more of everything than the first book. It was even spookier and even more mysterious. The mystery in this one was so good, as were the twists and turns. The new characters we meet, good and evil, were all so fascinating and intriguing themselves. Seraphina's character growth from the first book is phenomenal, and I'm loving being on this journey of self-discovery with her. Her learning more about where she comes from and trying to learn from and belong to both worlds is quite a journey in itself. I think there's a lot of great lessons in here, as well as relatable issues. I still love Brayden and Gideon with my whole heart, as well as Seraphina's paw. Her paw is the best. I'm loving dads in books a lot lately. The Biltmore Estate and surrounding woods are still the best setting and so atmospheric. These are just written so well. I absolutely loved it. Such an epic ending, and I was on the edge of my seat until it was over. Just another dark, upper middle grade, hauntingly beautiful story. Loved it. And then some more of the graphic novels that Joan Holub had sent me. The first in the Heroes in Training graphic novel series, Zeus and the Thunderbolt of Doom, created by Joan Holub and Suzanne Williams, adapted by David Campiti. This is just such a fun time. This is just such a beautiful graphic novel adaptation of the original books, and it was highly entertaining. I don't know a ton about these characters of Greek mythology, and this was such a fun way to learn more about them. There's a lot of adventure, humor, and absolutely beautiful artwork. It was great seeing Zeus as like a 10-year-old and getting annoyed that he keeps getting hit by this lightning bolt, who he names Bolt. And the lightning bolt helps him, and it's fun seeing that. And it's like they have a relationship. And then he goes on an adventure of a lifetime and a journey to fulfill his destiny as king of the gods. It's just, I had such a great time. Really enjoyed it. I read a lot of sequels this month, but also books that were sent to me, because after not reading for a long time for me, after what happened with my pup, I got really behind. And so of course books that were sent to me were behind, and I made them such a priority that I started reading a bunch of them at a time, because I didn't want to just sit with them. So you'll see that a lot in the coming recent reads that I read a lot. And this was even before that happened. These books I read before that happened with her. She was getting sick, but I felt I was too far behind, so I started reading more, and then I read even more after this point when that happened, so that'll be why. And then I read No Clues You Lose, a Joey Jacobs mystery by A.B. Donahue. And the author had sent me this. Thank you so much. Such a fun mystery read. The story includes characters with disability, special needs, anxiety, and I love the representation in here. This will be great for so many kids who will be able to see themselves represented in this story. And our main character, Joey's in a wheelchair, and she doesn't let anything stop her. She's determined to find the culprit of the uniform mystery. I also loved how a smaller mystery is connected to such a bigger mystery as well. Love seeing everyone work together and solve the mystery and save the day. Joey annoyed me a little to begin with, but I loved her growth and how she began to recognize some things she needed to work on and start to do so. And I just had a great time on this mystery adventure, and I loved how it all came together, and I can't wait to see what they get up to next. So can't wait for more. And then lastly, this will be a little bit shorter one since there were some sequels in there. I didn't talk much about those since I don't want to spoil stuff, but The Secret Lake by Karen Inglis. And the author had sent me this and the sequel, which will be in another video. And the sequel is longer than this one. This one's a little bit shorter. This is just a great time travel adventure. I had such a great time. I love the unique way they time travel in this too. The tunnel, especially the dancing moles and everything they represent and what they do. The mystery aspect was also so great. I also love that they travel back to their own gardens and house about 100 years or so before. I love the sibling dynamic between Stella and Tom, and also love the friendship they formed with the kids they meet from the past. Just such a great mystery adventure time travel read with great friendships, just heartwarming, charming, atmospheric. I love historical fiction, so traveling back in time to that period, just loved it, and just seeing the comparison to our time. Really enjoyed it. That's all for this video. Did you see any that you want to read now? Have you read any of them already? Did you like them? Did you not? Let me know in the comments. And I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you would like to subscribe, I would love that if you'd like to. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.